think about the last time you felt genuinely good about something you achieved. Now think about how long that feeling lasted before you found someone who had achieved more. That gap between the achievement and the comparison is one of the most studied and least understood mechanisms in all of human psychology, and it is running inside you right now, whether you want it to or not. In 1954, a psychologist named Leon Festinger published a theory that changed everything. He called it social comparison theory. The core idea was simple and devastating. Human beings have no internal scale for evaluating themselves, no built-in measure of how well they are doing, how successful they are, how capable they are, or how their life is going. None. The only tool your brain has for self-evaluation is other people. You do not know if you are doing well. You only know if you are doing better or worse than the person next to you. Festinger identified two types of comparison. Downward comparison, measuring yourself against people who are doing worse. It produces a temporary feeling of relief, comfort, even superiority. Upward comparison, measuring yourself against people who are doing better. It produces something else entirely. Not motivation, not inspiration, threat. Your brain processes upward social comparison in the same neural regions it uses to process physical danger. The same alarm system that fires when something threatens your survival fires when you see someone else's promotion announcement on your phone. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a predator and a LinkedIn notification. Both feel like something coming for you. And here is what makes it worse. You do not choose who you compare yourself to. The comparison is automatic, involuntary. It happens before conscious thought catches up. And critically, your brain does not compare you to everyone equally. It compares you most intensely to the people it considers most relevant to your identity. If you are a writer, you do not feel threatened by a surgeon's success. You feel threatened by another writer's success. If you are an entrepreneur, another entrepreneur's victory lands differently than a professional athlete's. The more similar someone is to you, the same age, the same background, the same starting point, the more devastating their success feels. Not because you are jealous, because your brain is using them as evidence about what is possible for someone like you. And if they got there and you didn't, your brain draws one conclusion: you are behind. This is why social media is not just annoying, it is neurologically catastrophic. For most of human history, your comparison pool was limited to the people physically around you, your village, your community, maybe a few hundred people across your entire life. Social media gave your brain access to 8 billion people, 8 billion curated highlight reels, 8 billion people showing only their promotions, their holidays, their achievements, their best moments, and none of the days in between where nothing happened and everything felt uncertain. Your brain cannot process the curation. It takes the highlight reel as reality, and then it compares your entire life, including all the hidden parts, all the uncertain parts, all the ordinary Tuesday afternoons, against someone else's greatest hits. You were never going to win that comparison. Nobody does. Festinger spent the rest of his career trying to understand what happens to people when the comparison becomes unbearable. What he found was not what he expected. People do not stop comparing. They cannot. Instead, they do one of two things. They change their behavior, work harder, achieve more, close the gap, or they change their perception, reframe the comparison, find a reason the other person's success doesn't count, convince themselves the gap isn't real. The second option is far more common, and it is the reason most people spend their lives oscillating between feeling behind and finding reasons why being behind doesn't matter, without ever addressing the mechanism producing both feelings. Festinger's theory is 70 years old. The mechanism it describes is 300,000 years old. It was useful once, when your comparison pool was 150 people and the information was accurate and the stakes were survival. It is not useful now, but it is still running. Every time you open your phone, every time you see someone else's news, every time you feel that specific sinking feeling that has no clean name but that every person alive recognizes immediately, that is not failure. That is a 300,000-year-old program running in a world it was never built for. The same one that kept your ancestors alive. Now it just keeps you scrolling.